Hi there, Xeonexis coming in. And today, before I proceed to the video, guys, I have been awarded as the top performer of the week 1 of the Fat Squatch Clan Tournament. The Fat Squad Tournament is where the Resistance Fat Squad and the Confederation Fat Squad battle each other out for a series of 4 weeks. It is where two players coming from each clan will battle each other out to earn the highest points. So a victory gains you 10 points. Without using boost, you gain additional 10 points. And if you recorded the battle, you gain additional 10 points. So, Fat Squatch told me that whoever has the clan with the highest points will get a reward from him, alright? So yeah, since I'm on the Confederation Fat Squad, of course, I will cheer for my teammates, alright? Confederation Fat Squad rocks, baby. Yeah! So, right now, I have received 1,000 tokens. Thank you so much for these tokens, Fat Squatch. Really appreciate it. So I'm going to spin them now. However, this video is not all about token spinning, since I am going to be talking about one of the concepts I always use in my battle, which is going to be the build-up attack, which is very different from the rush attack. Rush attack is when you collect enough resources, build a group of units, and then those groups will together attack the enemy base, hoping to destroy the enemy. However, build up attack is different since both players have no units. So it's a matter of which player produces the most. So it's a matter of attacking the enemy base wave by wave by wave until your units slowly overwhelm the base of the enemy. So let's jump right into the action. After the resource collection phase, I made the mistake of letting the enemy riflemen continuously attack my power plant, and here I scouted that the enemy actually has started producing a lot of riflemen and is maybe planning to riflemen rush my base. So what I did was very simple. First, I took care of the problem with the riflemen attacking my base, at the same time scouting the enemy and making sure when he is planning to attack my base, and scouting his base also. Here, the enemy decided to attack with his riflemen, and it was unfortunate for me. It's because my barracks and my assault vehicle factories were still upgrading. However, with the last of my assaults, I managed to stop or at least hold the rifleman rush. So you can see me build bunkers, at the same time build a lot of assaults just so I can defend my base. And unfortunately, my power plant was lost in that attack. So this puts me at a real disadvantage. I immediately called up my nearest assault available to help me defend the base. And because my power plant was destroyed, you can see that my bunkers were no longer building since I do not have enough power to build them. So here I am relying on my assaults to slowly and surely stop or kill the enemy riflemen one by one by one. And you can see me producing a fortress which will hopefully be more than enough to destroy all these riflemen that is plaguing my base. Fast forward and you can see that the rifleman was able to destroy the bunkers I was initially building. However, it's a good thing that I was able to put out my fortress and a couple of assaults to defend my base. So my goal right here now is very simple. It was to scout the enemy. So, scouting the enemy, I saw that he was already upgrading to headquarters level 3, but no one was stopping my assaults from attacking that supply center. And this is where I realized the enemy committed his resources to upgrading his headquarters. And this is where the build-up attack begins. I start with 2 riflemen and 1 fortress attacking the enemy base. I set the rally point to the enemy base, and here you can see the first wave. 2 riflemen attacking the base slowly. So, build-up attack is when your units will slowly migrate to the enemy base. Basically, instead of having a lot of group units attacking the base together, build-up attack is when you are going to build your units and they are going directly to the enemy base. So wave by wave, my riflemen and my fortresses as well as other units will start to attack the enemy. And here, my fortress will first defend from a couple of armadillos and riflemen. So you can see my assaults and riflemen here. You can see the enemy is already upgrading to Avia Factory level 2. Meanwhile, I am still at headquarters level 2, so which puts me at a real disadvantage. However, I pressed on with the attack. Wave by wave, I did not stop producing units, and I just simply sent more units, more and more, kept producing more units until I will slowly overwhelm the enemy. I see that the enemy has upgraded his Avia factory, therefore 320 resources was spent on upgrading buildings and none on units, which means more chance for me to overwhelm his base. So the attack presses on. Make sure I micro my units. My assaults are attacking the infantry and my hammers are attacking the armored units or vehicles, namely the armadillo or coyotes if there are. So here you can see me get my units annihilated. However, I stopped for a second, regrouped my units for a little, and then pushed on the attack again. So here you can see one of my assaults slowly harassing the enemy riflemen. One assault was damaging most of the riflemen, and this heavy assault I pulled out because he's not going to stand much against those units. So what I did was build more units, regroup them again, and then slowly attack the enemy wave by wave. After gathering enough units, I attack again. So unfortunately in this time it was a mismatch because I had too much heavy assaults and hammers, however I did not have any anti-infantry, which is why I decided to build myself another set of assault vehicle factory. So since I have a assault vehicle factory that produces hammers, I needed one that can produce fortresses. So here you can see me build additional barracks and additional assault vehicle factories so I can harass my enemy more. So as you can see, my hammer is getting owned by a couple of riflemen. Good thing that the assaults have finally arrived, and so I just microed my hammer, which unfortunately exploded. So here, I have more barracks than the enemy at this time. So again, wave by wave, continue trying to overwhelm the enemy base. It's because I know that the enemy has spent his resources upgrading his buildings. However, he did not have enough to produce a lot of units that can defend his base, and since this is what I did, hammers attacking the armadillos and riflemen or my assaults attacking the enemy riflemen. So my goal here was simple: if the enemy manages to produce a hawk, my attack is gone. So my hammers are focus firing on the enemy Avia factory level 2. So you can see me starting to produce fortresses and hammers which will arrive at the battlefield slowly. So you can see my units trying to focus on attacking the enemy Avia factory level 2, at the same time ignoring that barracks over there. The biggest threat for me right now is that little Avia factory, which if he produces hawks, again, this attack is dead. This is starting to be the slow turning point of the game where my units are finally flooding the enemy's base. So here you can see that the enemy was building a lot of barracks and building a lot of riflemen just to stop my assaults. So here you can see my hammer moving forward to the enemy Avia factory, and yet the enemy is still building a lot of riflemen to stop my assault. Good thing I already have a fortress inbound which is good against multiple infantry. So there, my hammer keeps on destroying the enemy level 2 Avia factory. At the same time, it was no problem for me. It's because I keep on attacking, producing more units, and attacking wave by wave. So again, it's a little bit of micro. Hammers will attack buildings and vehicles, while fortresses will attack the infantry. So preferably, I always like to micro them to go near the enemy infantry. It's because sometimes they just stop and attack using their machine guns, and they forget to use that they have a flamethrower. So here you can see my hammers are attacking or harassing the Avia factory level 2, and again, produce more units. Keep producing units, never stop producing units. Alright, so here you can see another wave has appeared. So 4 riflemen and a hammer and a fortress, but the fortress is kinda slow, so it's late to the party. So here I positioned one of my fortress near the enemy 2 barracks so he can instantly destroy any infantry that comes out of it. So yeah, the enemy at this point was not able to produce enough units to stop my attack. And here, watch my units slowly overwhelm the base. So another mistake that the enemy made here was making these walls. I mean, these walls literally do nothing. You should have spent these resources building more units like riflemen or perhaps even an armadillo. And at the same time, this airfield was useless. So yeah, my goal right now is to simply again overwhelm the enemy. So here, you can see me still produce a lot of units. You can see my units starting to overwhelm the enemy base, destroying factories and barracks first before destroying the administrative buildings. It's because my goal here is to prevent the enemy from building additional units until he is no longer able to produce some and defend his base. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the build-up attack. Building your units and forwarding them directly to the enemy base until your forces will flood and overwhelm the enemy base, destroying the enemy. And it was at this point where the enemy was not able to produce additional units to stop my attack, and it's a GG. Guys, remember that this strategy is very effective on the resistance faction. It's because resistance units are cheaper and are faster to produce, not to mention that the units themselves are faster. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video. Xeonexis over and out.